everyone, I'm Paula with Reed and Willow Crafts. Welcome to my channel. Today I am making a really cute fall wall hanging. It's a pumpkin wall hanging. So I hope you really like it. Please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if you like what you see. Now let's get right into this craft.
Okay, let's get started. We're going to start out with a wood blank. It's flat on one side, and on the other side it looks like a picture frame. And then we're going to take some black folk art paint, and we are going to paint just the frame part right now. And you can use any color you want. It doesn't have to be black. And I got all the sides and the back, and then I'm doing the interior here, but you can see that I'm not being real careful about it. And that's because we are going to put paper in the center there. So you don't really have to be too concerned about that. And then we dried it, and now we're going to take a small chip brush, and we're just going to distress a little bit around the edges. And you don't even have to do this if you don't want to. But I liked it, and so that's what I did. You can do as much or as little as you want. And then I just took a paper towel. You can take a baby wipe. And I just kind of blotted it and looked at it to make sure it was what I wanted. And now comes the paper part. And you know, I hate measuring because, I don't know, I just do. It always gets me in trouble when I try to measure. So I just laid it in there and marked it. And then I took my paper cutter and I found those marks and I tried to fit it in. And then you just kind of keep going from there like I do. I just folded it. Yep. Oh, need to do some more. And you just keep doing that until it fits. And I'm cutting off some more. Okay. So I think this time it's going to fit. Yep. All right. So now what I'm going to do is try to get that paper out of there because it's a pretty tight fit. And I just used my craft knife just to kind of lift it out a little bit so that I didn't destroy the whole paper. And I'm going to use a Gorilla Glue stick because I really like the Gorilla Glue stick, and I think that it holds really well. And put that in there. And then I just took a paper towel and made sure it was stuck down. Then what I decided to do, because I didn't like that raw edge, I took some more of that folk art black chalk paint, and I just went around the edges, and I wasn't even careful about it. I just wanted it to look that way. I didn't want it to be perfect. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make a pumpkin. And I want to take this wood slice, and I just want to paint the middle of it. I don't want to do the bark around the outside. Just because we're going to be decoupaging a napkin over it, and you know, I don't want it to show through to that darker center. So I painted it white. And when you use a napkin and you cut out the parts you want, some napkins are 2-ply, some are 3-ply. Make sure that you separate all the plies. You only want the top part. Because if you don't, and you try to put it down, that top part will start bubbling and the outcome will not be good. So I dried that white paint and I took a chip brush and I just put some Mod Podge on there, and I didn't do it real heavy because this napkin is very, very thin. So I placed it on there where I wanted, and now I'm going to show you a little trick. I like to use saran wrap, and I normally use a brayer. Couldn't find it, so I used this ginormous rolling pin on this little teeny wood slice, but hey, it worked. And another thing you can do, which I'm going to show you here in a second, is you can wad up your saran wrap and don't rub, just pounce up and down, and you will also be able to get the wrinkles out that way. And now I'm going to take some more Mod Podge and I'm going to give it a coat right over the top, because that will protect it, and that way it won't tear. Because like I said, the tissue paper is very, very thin, so you want to give it all the strength you can give it, and the Mod Podge works great. So now we're going to dry it and we're going to set it aside. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to give that frame a sand, because I wasn't really liking how stark that white was. So I thought, well, I'm going to sand it and kind of blend it all in. Just make it look old. And like I say, it's up to you if you want to do this or not. You don't have to do any of it. So now we're going to make a messy bow. And as you all know, I love messy bows. So I just picked out several different ribbons. I didn't make a real thick one. I just didn't think the project was big enough for a huge ribbon. So I just picked out some that I thought would go good with my project. And I cut it all the same size. And I got some raffia that I wanted to put over the top of it. And raffia can be a real mess, but I think I contained it pretty well. So now I'm going to start putting my ribbons down, and I'm going to lay one straight and then crisscross, and then the raffia on top I laid straight. So I cut out a piece of twine and I just flipped it over, and I want to secure this really well, so I tied it in a double knot, and I made it really tight so that those pieces of ribbons wouldn't escape. So I tied it once, made it as tight as I wanted, and then I just tied a knot in it. Did I say I love messy bows? Because I really do. They're easy to make. They always look nice. You can fluff them and fix them any way you want. They're one of my favorite bows to make. So as you can see, I just trimmed off the extra parts of the twine. So now we're going to put it up there and see what it looks like. And when we like it, we can trim off any extra pieces that are too long, or the raffia is a little unruly. But we can get that done. Hey, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you. If you like what you're seeing, make sure you give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. So we're going to put it up there again, see what it looks like. And now, before we glue it down, we're going to check out this little wood slice. And I'm just going to take what do you call that thing? A block sander? Sanding block? Yeah. And I'm just going to, in a downward motion, take all of the extra napkin off. And don't go side to side. Go in a downward motion, or you will tear your tissue paper or your napkin. Now I'm just taking a piece of white nautical rope, and I'm going to cut a stem. The nice thing about nautical rope, and this one especially, I don't know where I got this, but it's very soft, and you can unwind it. And as you can see, I'm just kind of separating the pieces because I want to put it over the top of my little pumpkin. So now we're going to glue it down. Make sure you put enough glue on it. Press it down. Now we're going to glue that nautical rope on. And I'm just fussing with it to make sure that it looks good. I just wanted to put it over the top of the pumpkin because I thought that was how it looked best. And then we're going to glue it down. So we're going to trim a little bit of that stem off. It was a little too long. And then we're going to glue that end of the nautical rope because we don't want it to come undone. And then we'd have a messy stem. Can't have that. So now we're going to glue the stem down. And, you know, you can put any kind of stem you want on. If you don't want to use this, you can use a piece of, like, a branch out of your front yard. Whatever you want. Whatever you like. What makes you happy. Okay, so that's what I did. Isn't that cute? I just love it. I think this is the cutest thing. This was Pinterest inspired. I saw something very similar to this on Pinterest and I really liked it. Okay, so now we're going to glue the bow on. Hey, I want to give a big shout out to my husband Jerry. He edits all my videos because if I did it, it would drive me out of my mind. So he did it for me, and then all I do is the voiceover. So I'm going to cut that one piece of raffia off because it was all bendy and whatever the word is you might want to use. And then I got this cute little sunflower, and I just trimmed off the wire, and I'm going to glue that right to the center of the bow. And look at that. How cute is that? I just love it. And then you can fuss with the bow however you want. You can make it look any way you want. Well, that's it for today. I want to thank you for joining me. This will be for sale on my website. I'll leave that in the description box below, and I'll see you next time.